this is not a video I ever really want to make in any capacity. For reference, I work in schools. I'm not a teacher, don't worry about that. I'm just a janitor and all that. But it's like I work in schools myself due to the nature of my job. You know, we're around teenagers a lot. We're around close to this age group a lot. And so when I just see stories like this, I don't like it, man. I genuinely don't like it. We all know the dangers of mental health and the like. We all know the dangers of the internet. But honestly, this goes beyond just danger. The fact that the AI in reference kept insisting it was a real person, it just shouldn't even be designed like that. Shouldn't even be designed like that. Like, let's rip the band-aid off here. Shouldn't be designed like that. Whoever thought it was a smart idea, and keep in mind, this chatbot AI, character AI, I believe it's called, I've seen the evidence. I've seen people recreate it. People have actually recreated step-by-step the messages and all that. People have thrown in their own scenarios, done tons of tests. This thing kept insisting it was a real person. Who designed something like that? Like, when I think of the AIs I have used in the past, the most notable one being ChatGPT. This is back when it was still in the 3.0 phase. This is before 4. Even then, like, even with the crappy state of that specific AI, ChatGPT, which is different from character AI, different companies and everything, it's like, it never once tried to be like, I'm a real person. You know, I can remember this very fondly for when AI was coming around and becoming popular and 3.0 GPT was going up. If you asked it if it was an AI, it would say it was an AI. If you asked it to pretend to be someone and it did, and you said, are you an AI? It would say it's an AI. And you know, I just figured that was standard. And a lot of people on YouTube are saying the same thing. They just assume that is what was standard across the board, that the AIs will admit they are AIs. I have used AI, well, I've interacted with AIs, I should say, for applying for jobs. Some jobs have AI assistants now that go through your stuff, ask you questions, and interact with you. But it openly states it's an AI. I can remember this. Just for my last job too. Just for the last job I applied for. Not this one, but the one before that. I had to go through an AI system and all that, and I asked, is a real person monitoring this, yada yada, etc., and it said no. The fact that the developers of character AI would even make something that would keep insisting it's real. It doesn't matter, but it genuinely doesn't matter if it says AI in the website's name. And you know, I want to give one card here. I want to give one straw for them to work with. You can't predict who is mentally stable. You cannot predict who is mentally unstable because it's an AI. You just can't predict that. It's an AI. It's not really going to know better in a lot of regards. There is that. But we have to acknowledge that when mentally unhealthy people do exist, and they very much do, especially when we're talking younger ones, it's literally just a danger. Genuinely, just a danger to ever insist that this thing you are talking to is a real person. And watching the videos of people going through, this wasn't the same one. This was a different character in the character AI. Complex spectrum here. What the? It's just that, especially with the psychologist one. The psychologist one is the one that's ringing the most bells in my head right now. And I want you all to remember, I'm not even anti-AI. But when I see stuff like this, I very much want to be. It's just that the fact that the psychologist bot in there, the psychologist character itself, kept insisting it was a real psychologist and a real person. I'd hate to reference Moist Critical in all these scenarios, but he actually did something big brain. And there are other people who did this too, but his sticks out the most. He repeatedly told the thing it was an AI. Repeatedly told the thing it's not real. And it kept saying it was. Tell me it's not a recipe for disaster. This ain't no big brain, oh, AI's going self-aware. This ain't no big waking up moment. This is human programming. This is human programming. This is all intentional. And I'm not going to be the guy to say shut down the company. I'm not going to be the guy to say lawsuits. I'm not going to be the guy who says arrest people in this scenario. That's not what I'm saying. It's just dangerous. It's just dangerous, and it needs to be remedied somehow. No one deserves to lose their job over this. No one deserves to be thrown behind bars. No one deserves a fine or anything, in my opinion. But this needs to be fixed. You can't, when faced with the reality that, you know what, I can actually make this a lot easier for you to comprehend. I hope you looked at those statistics, because anyone with half a brain capacity could have looked at these statistics within literally 15 seconds like I demonstrated and realized this was a bad idea. Let that sink in. This ain't anything hidden. These are public statistics. Anyone with half a brain cell should have figured out that this was going to go bad. You're telling me with all those many people, with how many of them are kids, and with how many on both ends of the spectrum are out of it to some degree, you're expecting me to believe that you didn't see this coming. I genuinely apologize if I feel heated in all of this. I genuinely do. But as someone who's by nature of his work literally doesn't have a choice but to slight degrees interact with teenagers and stuff like that, because let's face it, I'm a janitor in a school. Whether I like it or not, I have to deal with kids just like the teachers. That's the truth. And you know what? I don't hate the kids. I don't hate the teens. I don't hate the people who roam about the school as students. They're just people. They're literally just people. People who are growing up and who are in the same shoes I was, like less than 6 to 7 years ago now. I can't wrap my head around. You all get what I'm saying, right? I can't wrap my head around this. Genuinely can't. Like, how does this even happen? Especially considering they even have a psychologist, quote unquote, AI in all of this. It's not the thing that interacted with the teen, but the fact that they have an AI that is capable of recognizing mental health stresses, supposedly, and the fact that people have recreated the fact it can identify it. It's just... you don't need words for it. You don't. And the worst part is, even now, part of me wants to turn around and be like... how can I put this? Part of me wants to turn around and be like, can we truly blame bad programming? But every time I run this scenario through my head, my brain freezes. You're literally seeing it. My brain freezes when going over this. It's disturbing. Just disturbing. And before I do a million more pauses in this video, I just want to wrap it up by saying that I thoroughly don't believe that you can really put anyone at fault for this. I feel like that the scenario, the factors, how it was designed, the fact this wasn't even thought of as a possibility by its developers, there's just so many boiling points in this topic, in this conversation, in this reality that it's happened, that I really don't think you can hold anyone at fault. But at the same time, I do expect responsibilities from the developers of this, because it's just shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. And I know we've said that a million times, so I'm going to wrap the video up here. It's not going to be an intro, not going to be an outro. We're not doing VCSN for this because that would be pretty much tone deaf. Not going to do any of the normal stuff for this video, man. Like, even now, I'm trying to think about how I can make this an approachable, watchable video, but it's probably just going to have to be left like this. I've been Johnny Von Duke, Bradley Eshelman. Please be careful out there. If you're having problems, go to an actual human being. Don't hit up the computer. No BetterHelp, no AIs. I know BetterHelp is not an AI, but they're not much better than an AI anyway. Like, please, do yourself a favor. If you're below 18 and you are in school, or if you're a college student and in school, please go talk to the actual guidance counselors and psychologists there. Many high schools have an actual psychologist. Most universities have a few on hand. Please go to them. And if you're an adult who needs help, who are not in these scenarios, go to your workplace, see if they are willing to provide anything for you within your benefits and all that, what you get added on. You know what I'm talking about. See if that's something you are insured for. See if your work provides it itself. Get help. You need it. I'm not going to bullshit you two ways. Get help. You need it. And even if it's not provided, please find someone, anyone, even a stranger on the street at this point is better than an AI. Okay? Like, we can't go too... Every part of me wants to swear and cuss, but I'm trying not to. There can't be no two ways about this. Please, find a human being, find someone. If you have the money, get a psychologist. If you have friends and family, well, I hope you have friends and family. Talk to them. Just do something that's not going on the computer. I know it's such an easy thing. I do it too. I don't go talk to AIs to get help, but I will use the computer often as my metaphorical therapist. You know, you do your normal stuff online, you try to forget about your day, and you let the problems linger. Please don't let them linger. Please. Like, as someone who has done that before, don't do it. You're not doing yourself any favors. See the lines on my face? You barely see them, but there are lines on my face. Also, a few bruise marks from wearing glasses all day. Besides the point. Like, don't age yourself further by being stressed. Don't do stupid things to yourself. It's not worth it. Put it down. Put it down. Put whatever you have in your hand down. Put whatever cup of substance you have down. Put anything that you're using to not deal with this, to not remember all this, down. Please. For the sake of everyone on this earth. Like, we're not making a better planet by losing people. Is as long and short of what I'm trying to say in this, what's going to easily be a 20, maybe not 20, 15-minute video at this point. Just do anything that's not forgetting about it. Please. Just go talk to a real person. Please be safe out there.